and we're continuing in our journey through the story of Lazarus. Where we are in the story now is Mary and Martha have reached out to Jesus from Jerusalem, and they've asked him to come and heal his good friend Lazarus. And Jesus has decided that he'll go. But if you remember, at the end of chapter 10, Jesus and the disciples were just leaving Jerusalem, and when they left, the Jews were in the streets, stones in hand, ready to murder Jesus for what he was saying. So now Jesus has to go back to the disciples and explain to them that they're going back to Jerusalem. They respond in fear, telling him, "No, Jesus, don't go." But Jesus knows that it's God's will he goes. He knows because at the end of chapter 10 we read, "Again they sought to arrest him, but he escaped from their hands." And so it was God's will that he would leave Jerusalem, and now it's God's will that he goes back. But the disciples don't know God's will the way that Jesus does, and so they're faced with a choice. Will they feel their fear, or will they trust Jesus? It got me thinking about how we make our choices. Do we feel the fear, or do we trust? This is my challenge for you this week. No doubt you have a big decision coming up. We usually do. You've probably already started leaning in one direction on what you'll do, but I want you to forget all that. Instead, I want you to continue reading in this study. I want you to pray about the decision that's ahead of you, and then I want you to do the hardest part. I want you to leave it in God's hands, and I want you to trust that he will give you an answer, and his answer is going to be his will. We know that nothing is as good as when we live in God's will. That is where the light is. So that's your challenge for this week. Let us know how it goes.